1943, Friedrich von Hayek had written a book, The Road to Serfdom. Now 75 years passed, and we are near the end of the road. We are living in serfdom. I don't understand how it can happen. When I get know about the arrest of Mr. Robinson, I had a feeling that I am going to Soviet Union in 1936, something like that. How can it happen in Great Britain? How can it happen in England?
It's happening.
It is the result of the democracy. Democracy is the rule of donkeys led by hyenas. So take care of the hyenas because they are very important. The Greek were telling this, but the hyenas didn't have a TV then. Now hyenas have TV. And having TV, having high schools, having schools, they are doing with us whatever they want. Here is our problem. Democracy is tyranny of majority, but this majority is led by the very smart guys and women. Okay. What can we do now? What can we do? We must explain to everybody what is going on. What is going on? Because Europe was ruling the world. Europeans had discovered and conquered both Americas, Australia, New Zealand, Africa, majority of Asia, with the exception of Japan. Why? Because the European values were the best values in the world. It is the values. It is the values who determine civilization. And now, the values of European Union is much worse than the just opposite of the European values. Everything which was good in Europe is bad in European Union, and vice versa. So the result is the opposite. We were colonizing the world, now the world is colonizing us, because the values are wrong. For example, in Europe, for a murderer, a death penalty was obligatory. In the European Union, death penalty is forbidden. In Europe, there was the principle, who doesn't work, doesn't eat. In the European Union, who doesn't work, deserves some money to have something to eat. Everything is just opposite than in Europe. And the results are exactly opposite. And I tell you something horrible. You probably will begin to whistle. But if there will come the occupation of Muslim, the occupation of Muslim will be much better for Europe than occupation of the European Union. Because the values of Europe were the best in the world, and the values of the European Union are exactly the opposite. So the other values are just between. So it is better to be occupied by anybody, by Chinese, by anybody, but not by European Union. The allies who are leading the Europe, they are corrupt. I cannot explain the situation. The best explanation is that the Saudi Arabia has taken $100 billion of dollars and bribed out the politicians of Europe. Of course, it's not true. It's not true. But it is the only logical explanation of this situation when our allies are acting against their own nations. So, if it is the only logical explanation, so the real explanation must be illogical. They just go crazy, like lemmings who are going to death. Exactly like that. We are being led by the men and women who are really crazy. And well, when I was in European Parliament, I just get feeling that I am in the Polish Parliament during the communist times. The same slogans, equality of women, democracy. The only difference was the fight with American imperialism, now it's a fight with Russian imperialism. That's the only difference. It's also unreal. So, we must understand that we are being led by the crazy men, just and women, crazy. And we are here, we are thinking as a normal Europeans, but we are the minority. Majority is under the influence of the TV. And if they have TV in their hands, they can do everything. Everything, you must understand. Everything. Majority of people cannot understand the timetable of the bus. It is too difficult for them. You must understand it. So that's why the hyenas want to have democracy. Because they can do everything. Well, I am in England. You have Queen Elizabeth. But the real hope for you is Prince William. Real choice. Perhaps the people will get tired of this situation in Great Britain. Got tired. They say that stop this democracy, just return to normal kingdom of United Kingdom, because we cannot do anything now. Believe me, you cannot. If they have TV, we cannot do anything. We cannot get majority. If you will get Poland is more free than England now. But if you get 15%, we will be very happy. Murray Rothbard has said 50 years ago that West has much freedom and we in the east of Europe are on the bottom. But West is going down and we are going up. And one day they change the places. Now it is the moment. We have more freedom in Poland. We have more freedom in Russia than in England. And this is for you to do something with that. I cannot, but it's up to you. I believe that we will do something. At least convince your neighbors that the most radical change must be done. I cannot speak louder. I am sorry. Usually I have a microphone and here it is not allowed. So I am trying to do my best, believe me.
Doing a good job.
Okay. Thank you very much. You have any questions?
If you have any questions in English or Polish,
How do we deal with the policies of George Soros and the Great Replacement?
George
How
Soros.
do we do this? What steps do
Well,
we take?
I've been in European Parliament when Mr. Soros was having a speech to the Parliament. There was more people at this meeting than the meeting of the Mario Draghi, president
He's giving them the money, follow the
European
money.
Bank. But he has only one postulate. The government should borrow the money from the bankers. It was the only postulate about Mr. Soros. I am not going to speak about that man.
No problem.
No.
If England goes to shit, can we all come and live in Poland?
please.
If England goes to shit, can we all can we all live in Poland?
In Poland it's better than in
Yes.
England, believe me. More freedom. In Poland I can say anything
Yay!
about democracy, about women and men,
And Israel!
about everything. I can tell. I can lose the elections, of course, but I am free.
Yeah.
I am not free here.
No.
Perhaps in the speaker's corner I am free, but only here.
Any other questions in Polish or English?
In Polish?
How do we keep Tommy alive?
How do we keep Tommy alive?
Oh, it is your problem, not mine. I cannot help here.
Can you give
I cannot
Tommy
help
a
you.
shout out?
Can you give Tommy a shout out?
Shelter?
Yeah, no, shout out. Can you send regards to Tommy?
Oh, well, I told you, I was shocked when I get news about his arrest and sentence for 13 months of jail. It's crazy. You cannot film anything. You are not free to film, to make a pictures. Just incredible. That's incredible. In Poland it would be impossible. Even in the communist times, not before 56, but after 1956, when the Poland got independent, there was no case that somebody go to jail just for making pictures. There is no, I don't remember such a case. We had more freedom in the communist times, in the socialist times, than here in England, because the Euro-socialism is worse than the socialism. But I had hope that after Brexit there will return the old merry England. Unfortunately, it is not so. Unfortunately, it's not so. I don't understand why. I was sure that after Brexit there will be a great change.
The government doesn't want it, does it? They're going against the people. They're going against us again. And I heard that she's going to try to drag it on for 7 years.
But the longer they are doing, so the wrath of the people arises.
Yeah.
And the counter-revolution, because we need counter-revolution. Let's say it openly.
That's what I've been saying.
We need counter-revolution. Revolutions are on the streets, but counter-revolutions are on the heads of the men. Yes. And don't believe that our civilization must die. It is not true. The fate of our civilization is in our brains, in our hands, in our hearts.
What you need to do.
The young people can change the future.
I have a question.
It is not true that the future is determined. The Marxists say so.
It's so hard
But I
fighting
don't
the
believe
government.
it.
It's so
We can
hard.
change the future.
It's so hard. But it's going to take time, isn't
What
it?
you need to do to spark a revolution in the UK, because I think the people are quite, they never had a revolution since Oliver
I said
Cromwell.
about counter-revolution.
Any
Oh
movement.
no, counter-revolution is not revolution. It is change in the minds,
The colas had a
and then army comes and makes some order. It is counter-revolution. Don't make it.
Would you like to see Polish people in England march with us?
Yes.
Well,
We do this.
well.
He's there, look.
In the last but one elections, in London, Polish elections, more than half of Poles voted for us.
Here in the UK.
There is a chance.
We love the
There
Poles.
is a chance.
One more question. Sorry. You said that you was in the EU. You worked in the EU as an MP. You worked in the EU as an MP. Are they really pushing this new world order? Is this what it's all about with the flooding of Islamization?
Can somebody tell me
And also the new world order as well as the Barcelona. So they are pushing it, aren't they? Because when I read this a few years ago, I thought,
I understand because they are
thank you.
for me. Yes, it is. The problem is that we had too much money.
I wish they
If
had
such a system had been introduced 100 years ago, 200 years ago, it will be abolished in 2 weeks because we would begin to die of hunger. Unfortunately, we have plenty of money, plenty of eating, plenty of things. Go to the poorest family and go to children's room, you will see plenty of toys. That's unnecessary. We have too much money, and there is not, the revolution is not possible because the people are satisfied.
But I see the people
They have
every day.
everything.
They're just
They
passive.
don't understand. They don't understand
Money is the
that
root of
if-
evil.
that if we have used the private enterprise, the private missiles would be cruising between Mars and Venus 20 years ago. You know that why there is no progress in the space? Because there is a convention that you cannot make profits from exploring the space. Who would discover America if you would not able to have profits from discovering America? The America would be not discovered. So that's the reason. All the progress is stopped because the governments will do everything. They don't allow private enterprise, don't allow the private people to do their business. They want to do everything. They are forbidding us to explore the space. They are just cannot make every caritative action. It's all the government official must do, because the ruling parties want to have their friends in the state-owned positions, yeah, just to pay them for the elections. Because if you have a party, you must have some posters and do such work, and after the elections, you must pay them something. How do you pay them? With the governmental posts. And the number of governmental posts is getting greater and greater and greater. So, and if you have the clerk, he is issuing some orders, some dispositions, just to show that he is doing something. And then our freedom is being smaller and smaller and smaller, because everything is regulated by the government. As Ronald Reagan has said, if somebody works, tax it. If it still works, regulate it. If it stops to work, give subvention. So they cannot leave anything to themselves. They must do everything, because they want to give work to their members of the party. Here is the problem. Democracy, remember, democracy is the tyranny of majority. And tyranny of majority is worse than tyranny of one man. Because one man you can kill. You cannot kill majority. So remember, and the tyrant can be good or bad. Majority is always stupid. The number of stupid people in society is greater than the number of wise people. So the tyrant, majority of the tyrants will be always stupid. You must understand that. You cannot do anything because they have technology and they can force those stupid people to do what they want.
Can't we blow up the BBC? Because I've stopped watching television. I do not watch television.
You asked about the New World Order.
Yeah.
There is a gang of people who have plenty of money, and then want to do something good. And beware those who want to do good to you.
It's usually for
Beware
themselves,
them,
isn't it?
beware them. They really want to do good, but they don't understand. I tell you one thing, the difference between the right and left. What is the right? Right are the people who believe in the principle that I am the only one who decides what is good for me. There is no harm to those who want. It is the old Latin principle. So if I want to smoke a drug, if I want to go car without seat belts, I can do it. And in the left there is a non-state, I mean the welfare state, and there is an owner of slaves, and these owners tell me, oh, you must have a seat belt because you are my slave, and I don't want you to be killed because I paid money for
you're my
your
taxpayer.
education. And so on. And they want to do me good, they want to do me well.
I never wear mine.
But I hate those people who want to do me good. I want to decide myself what is good for me and what is not good for me. It is this difference. Don't believe those people who are mixing things up. It is a clear difference. Either I am the one who knows what is good for me, or there is somebody else
Your mother.
who knows what is good for me.
Your mother.
There is no compromise. There is no compromise between left and right. There is no third row. There is no middle row. You must have clear difference. And there was some drive to improve the situation. But believe me, plenty of people in Poland say, okay, Mr. Mikke, you are right, but you are too radical. And I say, okay, imagine I am on the operation table, there is anesthesia, I am conscious, they open my belly and say, Mr. Mikke, you have cancer. We can cut the cancer, but not too radical. We cut the half of the cancer and say, see what is going there. So, what will be?
Let's go radical.
The greater cancer.
Yeah.
It's exactly when you are trying to improve the situation now.
Yeah.
All the particle reforms will go down. You must make a radical counter-revolution. You cannot improve the situation by small steps. You cannot jump over this in small steps.
Do you know how I think we are going to do this? I mean, these marches are good.
If you could speak slowly and
Sorry,
clearly.
sorry. I think these marches are good, but what we've got to do...
Marches are good.
The marches are good,
Yeah.
but we've got to hit the government where it hurts. Now, most of us are taxpayers. I've worked all my life. Can't we just take a few
You
days
can
off and
march, of course. It helps to mobilize the people.
But March doesn't.
Okay.
But can't we hit them with the
Yes,
money?
but-
Let's stop England working for the day. You know, let's not go in.
But Winston Churchill has said, you can always consult the people, and after the consultation, do whatever you want. So
It's
they
got
are
to be
listening
united.
to you.
But we've got to do something. We can't just be doing marches.
Mr. Mikke, you say that in Poland it's better with democracy, with free speech than in UK. With free speech. I am member of Britain First.
Yay.
Because I am member of Britain First and I was together with Britain First, I was stopped 3 times in border, UK border. Jacek Miedla, priest from Poland, was stopped. Zienkiewicz stopped. Sumliński has problem. Many people, many speaker from North Ireland, from France, from another East, have problem of border. This is not good when UK declare official this is freedom speech, but it's not free speech because Jada Franzen, Paul Golding, leaders of Britain First, because they fighting against Muslim pedophile gangs, they were arrested. Paul Golding is
also stop in Canada.
Paul Golding now is free. Jada Franzen sits still in prison. Yesterday we were in March in 10 Downing Street against Tommy Robinson. This is not possible. How is possible that UK said we are free country, freedom? Where is freedom? I was 3 times, the free time was stopped in the border. And they asked me, do you member of Britain First?
How did they know? How did they know?
But I've told you why it is. Because it is the majority who rules, and they have TV, and they can convince the majority that it's okay.
I came from an independent march from Wrocław, where I was with Jacek Miedlar, Piotr Rybak.
Mr. Łukasik, let's
Okay,
let
okay,
the chairman
no,
speak, and then we can share our
All right,
views
okay.
afterwards.
But you said the guy. My question is, how can bring back free speech in UK? What is your opinion?
We've just got to do it.
I've
I
told
think
you
we've just got to
exactly.
do it.
5 minutes ago I explained why it is. Because it is majority who rules,
Yeah, it's
and
exactly
they
like
have
Russia.
TV, and having TV in their hands, they can convince the majority that it's okay to curb the freedom of speech. That's all. That's very simple. It's very simple.
Jakieś pytania po polsku?
Corbyn,
Okay.
what do you think of Jeremy Corbyn? What do you think?
Jeremy Corbyn.
Jeremy Corbyn, the leader of
He's
the
a
Labour
traitor.
Well, I am not going to say anything about the Labour Party. It is so far from me that I don't look at them at all. Mr. Corbyn doesn't exist for me.
No, he doesn't really.
How can we, as a people, fight against socialists not being involved in politics? So what can we do as a single person not to go in politics
Must
to
understand,
help?
socialists are very smart. Their idea is to take 700 pounds just silently and give 500 with the top. And then everything sees is 500 and don't see that is the price of gasoline, is the price of everything, it pays 700. And you cannot convince. The people don't understand anything. Majority of people don't know that they're paying taxes at all. They see it. because they see this 500 social benefits, and they don't see that they pay the money in the taxes. And of course, if government gives you 500, it might take from you 700, because he must hire one clerk to take the money and the other to distribute the money. So it is as simple as that. And they can convince the majority. The majority is stupid, you understand? I repeat, if you have a single tyrant, he can be wise or stupid. But majority is always stupid. It's always stupid.
Yes, but what can we do? Chodźmy o to, co może przeciętna osoba zrobić?
Just the only thing you can do is to convince your neighbors, your friends, the men in the work, just to have at least 15%. Because if there is a crisis, then probably the army will try to do something. But they might have some support. I don't think that with such a radical program, you can get more than 3% in India. I don't think so. Pinochet in Chile had 25%. After 6 months of rule, he had majority. But you don't have 15%. We don't have it in Poland. Still, in Poland we have I think the freedom is greatest in all the European Union.
Have you actually been fined by the EU yet for not
Fined,
taking
yes.
immigrants yet?
Fined, of course.
Yeah, you
Of
have.
course, yeah.
And I heard
I have been fined in European Parliament. I have been fined when I was citing the Congolese diplomat who said that it is African shampoo which is flooding the Europe. It cost me 600 euros. I paid for this. If I said, which is in the every manual of psychology, that average intelligence of women is smaller than that of men, I paid 9,000 euros. It is a freedom of speech in European Parliament, you understand?
One more question. Do you think Poland will come out of the EU?
Parliament? No, here no, I'm not a member of Parliament.
No. Will
Polska
Poland?
I don't know, but the problem is not getting off the European Union, but return to the values.
Sovereignty.
Here is the problem.
But I think if more
But
people
Great Britain
leave,
is walking out of the European Union, and what is the situation? Not better.
that's because we've got to change the
This is the
government.
problem.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
But if they want to come out, they would do it. If the government was backing Brexit, we would have been out by now.
Yeah.
And nobody in the government is.
Unfortunately, the Poles are being bribed by the European Union. We are getting money for the fees or something.
Pensions,
So
this.
people believe that they are very well in the European Union.
It will bite them on the arse.
Slowly, the number of supporters of the European Union in Poland increases.
Good, because it should be abolished.
And just remember, the situation in European Union, it is just the slavery system. The slavery system.
Are we the slaves?
Yes. If I can tell to my son, I have a 5 years son, he can tell me, Charles, you must put your seatbelt. Your father orders you, yeah?
Yeah.
When I'm transporting my horse, I can have a belt about him. I have a slave, I can order him. You must put a seatbelt. But to the free man, just imagine. You see D'Artagnan, you know what is D'Artagnan, yeah? I go to D'Artagnan and say, Monsieur D'Artagnan, you must have a belt on your horse because you can fall down and get killed. The free man would just laugh. And if somebody really insists, he would kill him with his spade. And now the Europeans agree that they are obliged in their own cars to have a seatbelt. That's incredible that the free men agree to be obliged to have a seatbelt in their own cars. It is incredible.
Panie i panowie, jakieś pytania po polsku?
Do you know, for example, that Poland and I think also United Kingdom has signed a convention of European Council which says that the That's during the war. Yes. You didn't know it? You didn't know it? It is true. They are idiots, you understand? The men who are ruling Europe are idiots. They are absolvents of the great university, but they are idiots.
They don't know life.
They have, you know, that horses glasses about, yeah?
Ktoś po polsku!
Co pan sądzi o proteście niepełnosprawnych w Sejmie, który się teraz kończy?
Uważam, że szantażystom nie wolno ustępować i tyle. Jeżeli oni uważają, że PiS ich oszukał, to niech idą protestować do siedziby PiS-u i okupują siedzibę PiS-u, a nie Sejm.
Czy miał pan jakieś problemy na lotnisku?
Problem na lotnisku.
Co?
Problem na lotnisku, czy
They have no problems on the airplane. I just came through the automatic gates. But I have diplomatic passport. You know.
Panie Januszu, może pana na piwo zaprosić?
Dziękuję bardzo. Ja wiem, że
Prezes nie pije piwa.
Długo prezesa pokazało mi, że ja piję piwa, to jest nieprawda. Ja nie piję piwa. Telewizja kłamie.
już prędzej.
Ja nie mam telewizji.
Panie prezesie? Panie prezesie?
Panie prezesie, postuluje pan zniesienie większości ministerstw. W takim razie, jak miałoby wyglądać budowanie infrastruktury w Polsce? Kto miałby się tym zajmować? Jakby to wyglądało zupełnie prywatnie? Czy byłby to jakiś system redystrybucji środków dla prywatnych właścicieli konkretnych grup?
Mogę pan nieco powiedzieć?
Bardzo proszę.
Okay, so the gentleman here was asking Chairman Mikke how would he deal with the cancellation of most ministries in the Polish parliament?
Because we won't have only 6 ministers in Poland, in United Kingdom also, 6 ministers. And what about the infrastructure? Of course, the majority of that could be done privately, and if not, it is the self-government of the towns, on the lands and so on, who can do it, and just order it by the private enterprises. That's all. And in the United States, when you have a system of water price of anything, then you have a bidding, and those who offer the best price, they are winning the bid, and for 2 years, 3 years, they are just operating the system. It is as simple as that. It is not so in Europe.
Why won't the Polish government offer the Polish people a referendum? Why won't the Polish government ask the Polish people for a referendum on Europe?
It's absolutely unimportant. The result of the Polish constitutional referendum is absolutely unimportant. There is no real question in this referendum.
Well, they're going against the EU
to have
anyway.
an impression that they are listening to the people.
Is that based on you believing that the EU will fall very soon, collapse? You know, is this what this is based on?
Yes. I cannot say when it will collapse. You can never tell it. You know, you have a solution of sugar, of salt, which is oversaturated, but it still keeps. You put a small drop of salt, then immediately something begins to crystallize. So it is a situation. It can be tomorrow, it can be after 3 years. Nobody knows it. One day, the banks will see that they are not sure whether the government began to pay. So they demand the money. And the first government refuse to pay, then the domino will go down. Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows.
So what would be your advice to the British government to, according to Brexit?
The British government? Well, I would like, I can advise to give more power to the king. More power to the king. It is better to have one ruler than 50 million of
She
rulers.
doesn't know what's going on. The Queen doesn't know what's going on.
Queen Elizabeth is perhaps not the best queen. She is very old now. But I believe in Prince William.
Ziemkiewicz, Międlar, ostatnio Sumliński, no i Robinson teraz. Nie miał pan obaw jadąc na wyspy, że Anglia wykaże się wyjątkowo?
Problem is
there's been a number of Polish speakers who have been banned from the UK, and where the chairman was worried about.
Last time here,
He's a diplomat. He should come in.
I was refused all the owners of the restaurants refused to hire us, the restaurant, for a speech. Because they were intimidated by the fascists, who call themselves anti-fascists, of course.
Yeah. The fascists will become the fascists.
Because, I told you, in the European Union, everything is upside down.
Yep.
And they were intimidated. But Mr. Janusz was refused openly. And he didn't want to risk to come in the European Union. I am not afraid. I survived the National Socialist occupation by Germany. I have survived Soviet occupation. I have survived socialism. I survived European socialism. I can survive in Great Britain.
Yeah.
Okay, I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I'm 76.
You've been there, seen it, done it, got the t-shirt.
I can risk.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Jakieś pytania?
Planuje Pan jakieś spotkanie w większym gronie z pozostałymi prawicowymi komentatorami?
Tak.
In English?
Oh, the gentleman was asking if there was going to be a meeting with a larger group of Polish right-wing speakers, and the gentleman said yes.
Oh, there is later.
No,
yeah?
well, I'm not sure when, but just an answer to his question.
Yeah, but not today, I guess.
Not today, not today.
But just remember, if Prime Minister of Her Majesty government said 3 weeks ago that the children don't belong to parents, so it is against the European values. Because in Europe, the children, the parents belong to the children, not the government. Not the government. The government could not take the child from the family and give it to another family. Or whatever it is. It is typical symptom of a slavery state. That because in the slavery state, the child of the slave don't belong to slave, it belongs to the state. Well, just imagine, you have a beach, yeah? And she has small puppies. Who decides whether they are vaccinated or not? The beach or their owner? Her owner. If you have children, who decides
The government.
whether they are vaccinated or
The
not?
fucking
You,
government.
not your owners. You are only a slave. You must understand. It is slavery state. That will read Frederick von Hayek, The Road to Serfdom. It had been edited in 43, 75 years ago. And everything is going along this line. The slavery is still more free. Just, I know what was in England. In Poland, 70% of people don't have any savings for the old days. Why? Because when Europe was free, then the free people must think about the future. In the slavery state, slave is not obliged to think of the future. The slave owner is obliged to keep him up to his last days. It's a typical symptom of slavery state. That the people don't think about the future. They think that the owner, they give him money, they give him shelter, they give anything. It's typical symptom of slavery state. The people think it's a progress. No. It's returning us to the slavery state. Of course.
That's why they got the mothers out to work, isn't it, in the 50s and 60s. Getting mothers out to work, they should be at home with the kids, really.
Co pan sądzi na temat ustawy S447 i uległości polskiego rządu? Polski rząd jest na kolanach, czy tak można być?
Formalnie ona zobowiązuje rząd amerykański tylko do monitorowania sytuacji, ale wie pan, jak to może się dziać w przyszłości.
Przepraszam, ale Szwajcarzy się ujęli w 90 roku, tak? Szwajcarzy. No to jakie my mamy szanse?
I was talking when I being in the European Parliament. I have talked to representatives of Switzerland, to the European Union, and he said, what can we do? We are just endorsed by the European Union. And the European Union threatened us to block all the roads.
Ale dlaczego na przykład polski rząd nic nie zrobi? Polonia protestuje w Stanach, a oni nic.
Ale tym, co pan nas karmi, to w telewizji można słyszeć. Odpowiedz pan na te konkretne pytania. Co ta ustawa 447 jest?
Ustawa 447 zobowiązuje rząd amerykański do monitorowania, czy ludzie dostają te pieniądze. Ale przepraszam bardzo. Jeszcze raz napisałem, to kiedyś dostałem ogromną ilość lajków, że nie ma różnicy między sytuacją, że jednemu Żydowi należy mienie drugiego Żyda, a sytuacji, w której mienie jednego blondyna należy do drugiego blondyna. No tak. I return in England because there is a bill to pass the American Congress that the American government must monitor the situation of returning to the American Jews the money of the Jews murdered in Poland.
Ale co pan zrobi, żeby tego w życiu nie wprowadzili w Polsce?
Murdered in Poland. The problem is that we are not nationalists and there is no law in no European country that it is the nationality who decides who inherits the money. Only the relatives can inherit it. Not I cannot give to one Jew something because it belongs to the other Jew. It's against all the principles of law in all the European countries. So I don't think the Polish government will not yield to this demand.
Co się stanie, mówimy o tych roszczeniach żydowskich, co się stanie w sytuacji, kiedy czy będą te naciski, czy nie, ale spełnimy te roszczenia. Co się stanie, jak to będzie wyglądało i co się stanie w Polsce?
Już no, trochę zbiedniejemy i tyle.
Trochę?
Zbiedniejemy i tyle.
Jakie trochę?
Wszystko zabiorą, wszystko zabiorą.
Jeszcze powtarzam, szantażyście nie wolno ustąpić. Czy to będą niepełnosprawni w Sejmie, czy to będą Kongres Żydów Amerykańskich, czy ktokolwiek, szantażyście nie wolno ustąpić.
Te 4000 żołnierzy amerykańskich, co stacjonuje teraz w Polsce pancerz, to do kogo obronią?
Do kogo oni będą strzelać?
Do kogo będą strzelać i kogo będą bronić?
Nie, to jest symbol.
Pić na wodę ci Amerykanie.
A propos wybierania między dwojga złem, które są gorsze czy lepsze, czy PiS, który prowadzi nas w niezależne jakieś tam socjalistyczne państwo, czy PO, czy inne, które niby będzie lepiej, ale będziemy częścią skupnie zależną, czyli rozbiorowy scenariusz.
Widząc skutki działalności eurosocjalistów w Wielkiej Brytanii, to chyba jednak wolę PiS.
Czyli jednak będzie za niezależność, tak?
Poland, I feel like in 1956, when I have to choose between Gomulka and Khrushchev in the Soviet Union. So it is
czy lepszy jest scenariusz rozbiorowy, czy scenariusz okupacyjny? Tak bym to ujął w dalszym...
Nie. Swojego złego wolę PiS. Oni są głupi, ale no...
No, ja też.
Any more questions?
It is widely understood in the scientific community that the humans are heavily affecting the climate changes, at least since the 70s. So my question is, if you ruled Europe or Poland, would you join the rest of the world in combating the climate change, or would you let the market play it out?
No. You must understand, there was a great heating in the 9th century. The Muslims from Africa occupied Spain, occupied south of France, because there was global warming. And the global warming returned without any fight with global warming. The warming is as a cyclic process and nothing to do with man's activity. Nothing. In 10th century, the Greenland was a Greenland, really. Greenland, there was olive trees, the sheep were on the meadows, and after 200 years, it had been ice, and all the human settlements were being abandoned. The Baltic Sea
was frozen every year.
It was a great, not warming but freezing, great freezing. And now is once again global warming. After 200 years, it will stop and begins great great freezing, and we shall fight, we shall spend billions of money to fight with great freezing. Do you see that they don't say about the fight against global warming. They are saying that they are fight against climate change. Have you seen it? Because they know
it makes no change. It doesn't matter in the long run.
That's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Ja dosyć dawno mam do Pana dwa
Just
pytania.
recycle
Pierwsza część
properly
jest
is
właśnie
what I
odnośnie
say.
tego, co Pan mówił. Ja w zasadzie zgadzam się z tym, co Pan mówił odnośnie ocieplenia klimatu i tych spraw. To jest nieporozumienie ta ważna, ale używa Pan bardzo często takiego argumentu, że jeżeli powiedzmy na lodach Arktyki temperatura jest 40 stopni, to jak ta temperatura podniesie się o 2 stopnie, tam będzie dalej 38, ale zapomina Pan o tym, że to się dzieli powiedzmy na strefy i w każdej strefie powiedzmy regularnie temperatura spada co 2 stopnie, więc jeżeli... I to jest pierwsza część i...
Okay. He says that if there are some ice on the verge of the zero Celsius, okay? And the ice can melt. Yes, you are right. But 1,000 years ago, there was also a great melting of the ice, and nothing happened to the earth. Why? Because you are always saying that the ice changes into water. But you forget that if there is a warm climate, the water changes into the vapor. And the amount of water in the sea is the same. The Earth is in the equilibrium. Equilibrium is in the equilibrium for 10 billion years, and we survive even European Union. Believe
Ja mogę jeszcze jedno, ale prosiłbym teraz, jeżeli można po polsku. No bo ja rozumiem, że Pan opowiada się za tym, że postęp technologiczny i to wszystko jest naturalną koleją rzeczy, tak? Że powinniśmy lecieć na Marsa, dotrzeć do środka Ziemi. A czy uważa Pan, co sądzi Pan o transhumanizmie i czy uważa Pan, że transhumanizm, czyli powiedzmy sztuczne ulepszanie człowieka jest naturalną koleją rzeczy?
Nie znam słowa transhumanizm.
To sztuczne ulepszanie człowieka, czyli posługiwanie się inżynieria genetyczna i ulepszanie jego cech.
Jeśli Pan się sam ulepsza, niż Pan ulepsza, to Państwo nie powinno się do tego...
Ja wiem, ale czy uważa Pan, że to jest naturalna kolej rzeczy, patrząc na to z góry? Z perspektywy 100-200 lat.
Być może będzie to niepowstrzymane.
Trzeba się korporacji
że ta partia nie istnieje.
Proszę Pana, myśmy założyli 2 procesy faktowi i tak teraz robią przeciwko nam kampanii.
One more question, if I may. So, what do you think about if you rule Poland, if the automation develops fully, as we understand, and as the estimates show that even up to 20, 30, or even more % of jobs of people on the market will be out of work. So, do you think should government act anyhow? I don't mean through the welfare state, but through
It is not true.
kind of.
Now in Polish schools, there are usually 32 children in one class. But if we get more rich, more wealthy, we would want our children to be in the class with only 16 child in each. So we must double the number of teachers. If we got more rich, we would have the class with only 8 children in the class. It must quadruple the number of teachers. Then you want the classes with only 4 children in the class. And after next step, we'll need more teachers than there is a citizens in Poland. If you have money, the human, we need much more that we can do, because potrzeby ludzkie,
Needs.
The women needs are they have no border. We can need TV with smell, with TV with touch press and so on. Always we need more and more, and there will the new job. Believe me.
Znaczy to takie, przepraszam, takie sabotowanie gospodarki przez socjalistów, po prostu hamowanie rozwoju, czy to nie wynika ze strachu, to takie trochę
I cannot understand it, why they are just breaking the economy, because they are afraid, you understand. In normal capitalism, the development such 15%, 5% down, 15%, and socialism it is just 1%, 2%, and so on and so on. But security first. No, it is the risk which governs the economy. It is the risk which gives the process. And socialism, there is security. Everything must be secure. Don't risk. So I was in the communist time. I was being taught that who doesn't risk doesn't eat. And now you are being taught that risk is something bad. You cannot risk. You must be safeguarded. You must be safe. No, don't believe it. Risk. You must risk. And that's why the left, they want women to have them much more to say in politics. Because the women want to be safe. They're okay. It's okay. And always in our history, prehistory, the women and children were being hidden in the caves, and the men had to risk, taken machuga or something like that, and go to hunt the mammoths. Okay, nothing. It is typical. So women prefer safety. The men prefer risk. Everyone here, every man here, without any education, will jump on the motorbike and ride. It's risky, isn't it? But they'll do it. They'll do it. Because for a man, risk is something natural. For women, no. And that's why our owners want women to have as much as possible in politics. Because they will vote for safety. Not for development, but for safety.
Usually men are making children and they leave the woman alone.
George Soros.
That's how it is.
George Soros. Kim jest George Soros?
You live long enough to raise a child.
To raise my child, that's all right.
That's why you cannot jump on the motorbike because you may die.
I'll still jump on the motorbike.
Yeah, but don't drive too fast.
She's older now.
Tak jak wielu Żydów robili w Judedratach i policji żydowskiej.
One more question. Last question.
Wyglądać nowoczesna wersja komunizmu.
Nowoczesna wersja komunizmu.
Jak mogłaby wyglądać?
We have so-called a new Marxism. The old Marxism, it was the workers' class who had to destroy the capitalism. But workers get wise. They don't want to have the capitalism. So they have substitute proletariat. It is women, homosexuals, crippled men, and everyone who is not satisfied with the system. They are creating their own proletariat. It's neo-Marxism. Okay, you are right. It's neo-Marxism. And that's why in communism I couldn't say anything wrong about the working class. It was forbidden. So I cannot say anything about women because it's forbidden too. Because the women are the part of the class who wants to rule us, who want to overthrow. Of course, if they have the full power, they kick the women aside exactly like communists kicked workers aside after they've taken power. Of course, for them, women are also only the tool to take the full power in society. That's why they punished me with this 9,000 euros. When I said something which is in every manual of psychology.
You said that in Poland.
But remember,
No, European Parliament.
This difference between the intelligence of men and women is very small. It's very small. There is one thing which is much more important. The dispersion of men's intelligence is much greater than about women. Women are more average. So among the best chess players, there's only one woman. Yes. Among the 200 bridge players, only one woman.
And she beat the men.
Yes. But of course, what it means? And among the politicians, it's only one woman. It is Margaret Thatcher. Yes,
She was a good girl, Maggie. She would have sorted out his
What do you think about censorship in social media? like Facebook, Twitter, etc. Because I said something wrong about Jewish, they blocked me en masse. It's normal. What do you think about social media?
They're watching us.
Facebook is a private institution of Mr. Zuckerberg, and we must just mount another social media and make a competition to Zuckerberg. And Twitter is not censoring. I heard that they have censored Robinson. I heard about it, but I never had an example that they censored anything in my Twitter. Nothing. I can write everything about women, about
Russian Facebook contacty.
It was the last question. Thank you very much. Somebody wanted to have an announcement.